Alright, time to get back to our Powerflow exhaust. We're going to start at the bottom end first, where the muffler is. If you've got a Powerflow exhaust on your airplane, and you haven't checked it lately, you probably should. There is a glass insert that goes inside this muffler that is packed full of glass. And in this it's hard to see, but there is no glass left inside this muffler pack. So today we're going to pull out this insert with the rusted hardware that is probably going to have to be cut off. I've been soaking this for about 5 days in Kroil with no success. So I'm not going to show you that part, but we're going to use our Dremel and cut off each one of those screws. Hopefully get this insert out and we'll come back from there. See what happens. Okay, wow. Pop that out and obviously there is nothing left that's supposed to look like that. So we'll be putting that back in. The strange part is when you put this in, you leave the plastic on here. It'll burn off on the first run up, just to let you know before we get started. So I'll gonna clean this up a little bit, maybe do some polishing, and then we'll put this back together for our Grumman Tiger. Alright, we have our muffler insert cleaned out. Even cleaned up the inside a little bit. Scotch brightted the inside of this to make it fit real good. Took that orange warning paper off the outside. And then I even marked about the center of this new muffler insert. So we're just going to put this back in here. Nice and gently without tearing anything up. So we line up the red mark. Hopefully not going too far. Okay, so I got our marks lined up. Brand new, looks good in there. Looks brand new. Wow, that is brand new. Maybe that's why. I don't know if you can see that or not. But basically installed. Now we just need to drill these new holes. They give you new hardware to put in it. And we're going to stick this thing together. So you will need a cobalt drill bit as we're drilling through stainless. This is a very hard thing. We have a hole. Okay, basically I drilled some pilot holes to make sure everything would line up. And drill for E32s it looks like. We're even going to put a little bit of copper antices. This is what Powerflow recommends. Hopefully we can get these screws back out in the near future. I think it's like 400 hours before you need to replace this. But if you haven't replaced it, you may have to think about looking at it yourself. You can just look up the tailpipe and see how it's looking. And that might show you whether the insert is distorted. Mine wasn't, but I could see there was no fiberglass left inside. Alright friends, that concludes this pretty well. We just got to tighten all those screws up and be done. Powerflow also sells a kit for your new exhaust gaskets when you put this back together. Just thought I'd point this out right now. They can give you all the nuts and everything you need and the gasket. So we'll continue to rebuild this and stay tuned. Well, here we are back with our Powerflow exhaust. With our Powerflow exhaust installation instructions. We are going to take this apart and just make sure you know to do this like every year. It's part of the instructions and for maintenance to keep everything from cracking. So I recommend highly using some Coil. Soak all the joints. The bad part is we've actually already taken this one apart. I've cleaned this up, everything looked good. We're going to put it back together today. So this video is basically saying you need to make sure on all these joints that they stay lubricated so that they do come apart. Coil was definitely a part of getting this airplane apart, or this exhaust. So you will need some Coil, and then when you put it back together, as I've said before, Permatex copper antises is what they recommend from Powerflow, and that will help these things from seizing up. That should be done annually. So, and in this installation, we are going to head and using all new hardware. We're putting that for each joint. We bought new hardware just to be on the safe side. It's been on there for a while, and of course, we're going to install new gaskets, new bolts, and new nuts, which Powerflow does sell these. So you can buy that as a whole kit, and they'll take care of that. And again, make sure you follow your installation manual. When you put this back together, the springs have to be compressed to a certain dimension. And happy flying. We'll see you when we put this thing back on the airplane. Welcome. We're about to put our Powerflow exhaust back on this airplane. We'll see how it works. We've lubricated all of our fittings with antises. Copper. That's right, friends. Copper antises is the way to go. Keep that stuff lubricated, keep things from cracking. All right. Oh. Okay, we got that up in there. As you can see, I took some safety wire to hold up the gaskets before we put the Powerflow exhaust back on, and one nut just to hold it in place. Now that once we get everything situated, we'll put the flat washer and star washer on there to make it go. So that should be pretty good. Looking fantastic. All right, well, this basically concludes putting the exhaust on. The rest of us just hooking up thermocouples and everything else and getting the proper dimension.